This new sober living environment had its own kind of structure. Even though I wasn't technically part of the rehab program anymore, I was still living very close to people who were. Every day I watched them go through their routines, meetings, check-ins, chores, curfews, and all the rules that were designed to keep them focused and away from their old ways of thinking. There were a lot of rules. Sometimes it felt like the structure itself was the therapy. For me, it was a strange position to be in. I wasn't fully inside the program, but I also wasn't fully outside of it either. I was somewhere in the middle, trying to rebuild my life while still living in the same environment that people were using to get clean. Because of that, I tried to keep my interactions with the program itself to a minimum. Not out of disrespect, but because I knew that everyone there was fighting their own battles. I didn't want to get tangled up in the day-to-day drama that can happen when you put a bunch of people in early recovery under the same roof. One of the things that helped me keep my sanity during that time was walking. About 10 minutes away from the house was Lake Merritt, right in the middle of Oakland. If you've never been there, it's one of those places that somehow feels both peaceful and chaotic at the same time. You've got the water, the birds, the old buildings, the neighborhoods surrounding it, and people from every walk of life moving around the lake. Walking there became a small escape for me. The road itself was interesting too. There was graffiti everywhere, some of it rough, some of it surprisingly beautiful. Murals on old walls, tags layered on top of tags. Colors bleeding together like a kind of urban gallery. And the neighborhoods around the lake had their own personality. Little streets, old houses, tiny corners of the city that felt alive. Sometimes I would bring my guitar with me. I'd sit somewhere near the water and just play while people walked by. Joggers, families, couples, people walking their dogs. People who looked like they were just trying to clear their heads like I was. Nobody really paid much attention, and that was fine with me. I wasn't performing. I was just reconnecting with something that had always grounded me. Looking back on that time now, I have to remind myself of something important. Most sober living environments are run by former addicts. And that's not a criticism, it's just reality. These are people who have been through the fire themselves. They know what addiction looks like because they lived it. But sometimes, even after the substances are gone, certain behaviors stick around for a while. Old habits, old ways of communicating, old ways of handling power and responsibility. Recovery doesn't magically erase all of that overnight. There were moments when I had to deal with interns or staff members who were clearly still working through their own issues. A few of them were outright dishonest, not just with me, but with themselves. You could see it in the way they talked, the way they carried authority, the way they tried to control situations that didn't really need controlling. But at the same time, most of the people there were genuinely trying. They were trying to build something that helped people stay alive and stay sober. And that mattered. After a few months of living there, something inside me started to change. I felt this strong urge to move forward with my life. Not run away, not escape, just move forward. The biggest obstacle at that point was money. I was having a hard time finding steady work. And without income, it's difficult to take the next step in rebuilding anything. Days started to feel like they were slipping through my fingers. Then one day, my luck changed. I landed a job at the Oakland airport. My job was driving rental cars. Simple work, but it was a real paycheck and a real step back into the world. After months of being surrounded by recovery programs and sober living houses, suddenly I was back in a normal working environment again. People coming and going, planes landing, travelers moving through the airport, regular life happening all around me. And that moment, that transition, ended up becoming a very important part of my story. Because not long after that, a relapse was waiting right around the corner. I'm not telling you that as a cliffhanger or dramatic twist. I'm telling you because there's something very important hidden in that moment, something people who are leaving rehab and trying to rebuild there Lives really need to understand. When life finally starts moving forward again, that's sometimes when the danger quietly starts creeping back in. And if you're not paying attention, it can feel like stepping into slow sand. You don't notice it right away, but before long, you realize you're sinking.